This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, coming to you from Mexico. Today I'd like to talk to you about how to find the perfect month-long stay apartment, the technique to do that when you're traveling around the world. I left the USA in 2013. I've been on the road for 13 years, 65 countries. I'm a slow traveler. Slow travel means that you stay in each place for a couple weeks or maybe a couple months. And that means you're looking for an apartment every 12 times a year. So you have to have a good process down that finds the place you like at a good price. The first few years honestly I was having trouble because I would try to book a place over the internet just based on reviews and what I could tell, maybe watch a few YouTube videos. But invariably when I arrived, at least half the time, it wasn't quite what I thought it would be. The pictures were dated, or the internet wasn't as good as I thought it would be. There would be missing, they would say it's an equipped kitchen. There'd be missing things that I needed to cook with. And so there would be disappointment, or the neighborhood was wrong. And so what I'd like to do in this video is to teach you my 8-step process that I use to find the perfect long stay apartment as you travel around the world. Whether you're doing it as a lifestyle like me, or whether you're investigating the best retired cheap places around the world and you want to see 4 or 5 before you make up your mind. But there's no need to take notes as you listen. Everything I'm talking about will be in writing. I'll tell you how to get that towards the end of the video. Also, towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you the apartment I'm in now that I found using this process. Okay, let's get this party started. You've seen the first place I stay, and now I want to show you the place I moved into for 30 days. My advice to you is always to get a short-term stay when you first move somewhere, like maybe 4 to 5 days. You can use Airbnb or whatever, Booking, any of the websites for that. I use Airbnb because I want a kitchen. I like to make coffee during the day, and I don't want to run out every time I want a cup of coffee. And so I booked to 4 to 5 days. I've already showed you that place. And then the first few days when I get somewhere, I investigate the areas of the city, and I pick my favorite area. And then I look on there for a place to stay for longer term, for 30 days or whatever. And that's when I start worrying about penny pinching. I'll do the best I can when I book the 4 or 5 days, but I'm more focused on the longer term and saving money. So what I discovered about the Puerto Escondido and its nearby suburbs is that the internet isn't too good here. And as you know, I make a living online. So it's not unusual for me to be working on a project. It goes until the last minute, and I may have to upload a video within a few hours to get it ready for you. And so internet speed is a critical factor in deciding where I go. So as I go to various places, and by the way, I'm going to show you my place here in a second, just in case you're worried about that. But the internet's important to me, and what I realize is that the internet's kind of spotty all over the place around in Puerto Escondido area. So I wasn't going to really better my internet much, and so I looked into co-working spaces with high bandwidth in case I needed to upload a video in a short period of time. And there's one called Salina here, S-A-L-I-N-A, that has up to 50 megabits per second in a co-working space if I'm in a jam. And because of that, it's often I have very little notice. I don't want to take a taxi to get to a place where I can upload a video, so I want it within walking distance. And I like this neighborhood near the Salina, but not so much the touristy area. I'm a little bit out of that area, and I'm in a beautiful hotel, which I'll tell you later. I don't like to disclose where I am while I am somewhere, and I'm sitting here now. But on my retired cheap report for Puerto Escondido, you'll find the link to this. And once I've left this accommodation. Okay, so let me show it to you. If you're finding any value here, could you please like, comment, or subscribe? Any of that would help our business grow. Thanks so much in advance. Okay, this is the swimming pool, and not too many steps away is my small apartment. This gate is an entry to it. I grew up in California in a Spanish hacienda, and so this has a feel for my childhood. Is why I picked it. so you come through the gate, and typical of a Spanish hacienda, the grounds are very important. And here we have beautiful concrete with stones worked into it, and we have an indoor-outdoor kitchen here. It has a roof on it. It's nice and cool. There's even a fan here, but it's technically outdoors. There's no walls to this kitchen. Let me show you. And this, to me, is what Mexico is supposed to feel like. So it has a dining area here with 3 chairs. It has a beautiful thatch roof. It has an open roof above, which lets the heat dissipate, and it has a full kitchen. There's a stove top here, an oven below. 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐕𝐈𝐍𝐆 likes to bake or broil, and so she has that. There's a full kitchen here, pots and pans and silverware. And look at this. This is a made-in-place countertop. I don't know if you can see it or not. The whole countertop here is made in place. It's not unusual in Mexico for that to occur. It's not as usual now as it used to be, but so it has a full refrigerator here, as you can see. And so that's for me, that's a full kitchen. It even comes with a blender, comes with a toaster. And by the way, I'm going to tell you the cost of this place at the end, so hang on. And it has a coffee maker, and it has pots and pans below. So for me, it's a functional kitchen. It'll allow me to work either outdoors if I want or indoors. I'll show you in a minute. And then also has, let me show you the bedroom. So the kitchen and dining room table are outdoors, but the bedroom is indoors. And I'm going to have to let the camera adjust here so you can see, but as you can see, there's I would call that maybe double-sized bed, and very simple but elegant. It's got some drawers over here and a cabinet, and then it has a desk if I decide I want to work indoors. And it's actually quite cool in here, and there's 2 fans. There's no AC, but because it's open air like this, I don't know if you can see or not, but a lot of windows along the top and whatnot, and because of these, there's 2 fans in such a small space, it's fairly easy to just stay cool in here. Okay, so this is the indoor portion of it. You're probably asking, does the guy have a bathroom? I actually didn't even realize that. When he was showing me the place, the guy who owns this, he had to show me the bathroom. I didn't even ask about it. I was so impressed by the feeling. It's also an outdoor bathroom. You have a sink here. Look how beautiful this craftsmanship is. Same thing, a sink made in place. And it has a shower. It's a tile shower. Look at this beautiful tile. So it's, and I'm, technically I'm indoors now, and there's a toilet. But the sink, at least the sink area of the bathroom's outdoors. And then you have this like service area, I guess you'd call it. If you want to do your own laundry and hang it, it's here. Or you could use this area for whatever else you need it for. And of course it has hot water. This is the hot water heater. So this is 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐈𝐍𝐼's pad for the next 30 days here in Puerto Escondido. And what does it rent for a month? So including electricity, water, everything. And by the way, they supply the water. It's one of these tilt function ones, which are the most efficient to get the water out but not be difficult. It's 11,700 pesos, which is $585 for a month, and it's a little higher than we usually pay, but I just like the feel of it. It reminds me of my childhood. I grew up in a much bigger home than this, but I love the indoor-outdoor feel for it, and it really feels like Mexico to me. So anyway, welcome to the new pad. I wanted to say just a couple more things about picking where you want to stay. So the reason I book like 4 to 5 days in an initial place is because I really want some time. I'm going to stay somewhere for a month or 2 or 3 maybe. Who knows? I'm a slow traveler. I'll stay as long as I like. And I really want to be somewhere that feels good to me, that feels beautiful and safe, and also for a reasonable price. And so in my search, I often look at various avenues online, and I will check those. But the reason it takes 4 to 5 days is I also have to sort of walk the neighborhoods to get a feel for, you know, a neighborhood that I feel comfortable in. And when I walked into the neighborhood where this is, it's not perfect, but it has a very nice feel to it. Trees along the streets. It has more authentic looking Mexican architecture and colors, and so, you know, when in Rome, live where the Romans are. Now it's true that this is more of a vacation area, and that the central area is more where I would typically stay, which would also have, you know, potentially have a neighborhood like this. Maybe not, it depends, every city's different, but I generally like to be near the central market where I can walk and get fruits and vegetables. And here I'm about 3 kilometers away. I could either take a colectivo for very little money, or I could take a taxi for very little money, or I could walk. 3 kilometers, not that far. But the reason, as I said, I didn't is if an emergency happens and I need to do something online and I need the bandwidth, that's more critical than trying to save a few minutes here and there to go to you know, going to a market, because food is, I'm never going to go, I don't go hungry, so, but I do like to make my deadlines when I'm doing online work. So that's my story of how I picked this and why I think it's important to really walk around neighborhoods when you first get to a city to decide, you know, what feels like home for you. Now this applies to anywhere in the world, right? This is about finding a place that you feel comfortable, and it should include everything that's important to you: shopping, safety, if walking at night, just the general overall feel of a neighborhood. Is it the level of touristy that you're comfortable with? The restaurants around, are they you know, are they more local feeling? Are they more touristy? And if you prefer touristy, you know, are the prices okay? Or are they just crazy, outrageous? So, what's the internet? I actually bring my I often go, when I go to a place, I often run a test. There's a web page. If you Google the words ATT space test, an AT&T web page will come up with a big start button. You hit that start button, and it'll tell you how fast the internet is, the upload and download speed, and also the delay, how long it takes for it to respond. And those are all 3 important to me. And so if internet's important, do that while you're in the place. And also, pictures online can sometimes be deceiving. It doesn't tell you much about the neighborhood or the feeling of the management or the ownership, and like, do they take care of the grounds? Are they into details at all? Or, you know, is it going to require a lot of maintenance by yourself to keep a place workable while you're there? And so you get that by walking a neighborhood. In some respects, it's better to almost walk the neighborhoods before you even get on Airbnb or Booking to see what's there. Look for local rental signs in you know, the local language, and you can just Google Translate whatever country you're in, you know, for rental signs in a neighborhood. And make sure you get a SIM card at the airport, and so you can call the numbers. And when you're in front of a property and you see a for rent sign, it can save you a lot of time if you call the number and they happen to be inside or nearby, rather than you take down a bunch of phone numbers, you go home and call them all and try to arrange times. That can take a lot of extra time. It's better to knock some doors, make some phone calls when you're in the neighborhood. Just another tip for you. And then once you've seen the neighborhood and you've compared some prices and you've seen different neighborhoods, you can do all that in 2-3 days. Then you can just pick a place, leave a deposit or make a deal. Don't be afraid to make offers on places, and to try to get a good deal. So the key is to make a short-term rental and then spend a few days trying to find a place you're really happy with. So I'm really happy with this. Chung-Hui gets here on Friday. Hopefully she's happy with it too. If not, he's got more units in here. I can find one that she'll like, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Well, that's how you pick the perfect long stay apartment anywhere in the world. Click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to get the written notes from this subject. While you're there, grab a free copy of my ebook, How to Fire Your Boss and travel the world for 13 years. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for Vagabond Buddha. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner? If you use the information in my videos, it doesn't mean you'll get the same results as me. I'm an expert at this. I've been doing it for years. So make sure to read my liability disclaimer in the notes below this video.